right, so missed last week, but we are back in business. So does anybody remember what actually happened last week?
Or the week before? No.
Or the week before? All right, that's...
Notes.
Right. Yes.
I think we're mingling.
Yeah,
so, okay, these are pretty confusing notes, though.
I think we're mingling because I can't remember the guy's name.
We're at the Inquisitorial Conclave, and we are trying to get information from the retinue of our the Blue Rose, the torturer for another Inquisitor. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's basically with the Ebony Syndicate.
Is it Sutton? I don't remember.
Yeah.
So we know they've got a sister of battle named Juliana, who we haven't seen. Louis Louet, the Death Cult assassin with 2 swords, who had a kill flirt with Tigo.
Clerk.
Adrian Chapernon, the savant, he had cybernetics, and he was the info gatherer. There was Alda Thorne, a page who's only been with him for a couple of years, replacing Adrian. Angsker Brennan, a marksman who likes to eat and drink. He has a tox filter. He uses las and bolt weapons. And we didn't see Krishna Rule.
Got him with a question mark here.
We put a bug on a food cart along with a gift bottle of wine because we made nice with the staff and did a poker night with them after the party, basically. So we got them to do us a favor, and we slipped a bug on. They seem to know where the missing people from the retinue are, but are pretending otherwise. And they were talking about, whether Hellscythe and us suspect anything. And that was about where we left off.
Yep. Actually, there's one thing. This happened from, the start of the very first conclave, that Hellscythe was saying that he suspects... He doesn't think that the Inquisitor, Hussar, and his interrogator Sutton work for the Ebony Syndicate. He thinks they're taking a radical path to actually find them. All right.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, he also suspects that they summoned a demon host.
That's a little cuckoo bananas even for radicals.
Yeah, depending on what path you follow. All right. So yeah, that finished up the first night, which was basically just a, like a meet and greet and a mingle before they actually start the actual, their investigation, or well, not investigation, but just going over, their. I don't know what you want to say. Their
itinerary?
Yes, thank you. That's the word I was thinking of. The itinerary for the conclave. So, they had... Well, it was actually late at night because they dropped it off around what would be like Earth time, midnight. So, it's been, a few hours. Getting up in the morning, they're doing a breakfast before they actually start the real first section, which you have been informed is their reports on their prosecution of the Ebony Syndicate. So it's nothing formal. It's more just you're being delivered food. You can go about and mingle if you need to. So what would you all like to do?
We're not part of the actual sessions they're going to be having, right? We're just little people.
You are not a Inquisitor. You won't be giving reports, but Hellscythe has informed you that you will be brought in. And you will be actually seeing the reports and you are undercover as being part of the support staff, which is, it's undercover.
Mm-hmm. Probably a lot of that going around.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. So, did you want to do anything during breakfast, or do you want to just fast forward to the actual meetings?
Gar eats breakfast with gusto.
Okay.
Yeah, some real food sounds like a good idea.
It's a good breakfast. It's your standard It's like meat that has been like cured, salted. Tastes pretty good. As well as various other meats, eggs, breads, and really anything else you could want. So you're able to get a very like good hearty meal.
Yay.
But for the most part, people are not really mingling much. They're still waking up, drinking their recaf, getting ready, like going over their notes, going over their reports to get ready for the actual like start of the conclave, or like the first part of the conclave. Talk about the Ebony Syndicate.
That's not a bad idea either, in case our stuff is brought into light, and it will be because we've been kind of on point for that.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll go over our notes.
Yeah, going over your notes, and actually, you do see approaching you, Selena Escher.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she was gonna ask. I think wondering about us joining her Inquisitor thing. Remember?
Yeah, she extended the offer for us to become part of her retinue instead of Hellsites.
And so she's dressed in her like witch hunter gear, where she's like the long storm coat, like the kind of like the nice tall witch hunter's hat, like not like a uniform. Inquisitors don't have a uniform, but is like kind of what you'd expect when you see a witch hunter, really putting on the whole like witch hunter vibe. And like,
Ian, I guess my brother's trying to join now, and it's telling him he's not authorized. Do you want to send him another thing?
he's not authorized. I sent him the thingy. Let me see if I can. I think I got it the right. Hold on, can I get in here? Is it Jacob?
That's him.
Yeah, Jacob G. It says he's authorized to go in. What's it giving him for a warning or like a message?
It says I'm not authorized.
That's bizarre.
Should be good.
Weird. I don't know why he's not authorized to get in. I don't see anything that's really affecting it. Alright, 1 second. A little bit of tech support right now.
Is this to get into this or something else?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have him observe and see if he wants to jump
Hop
in.
in. I get you. I will refrain from scratching my balls.
Okay, I actually got to send a literal join link? But I thought I did do that. I thought that...
Just do it again.
Do it again.
Okay, so you can get the join link by hitting invite player button. Oh wait, here he is. He's in.
Hooray.
Okay. Shoot, hold on. Well, I just gotta very quickly send him a,
Top up my coffee while you're getting set up.
I'm gonna quickly send him an invite email. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, well, at least we got that sorted out without too much trouble.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's fine.
Getting started, and then he's like, "No, I'm on."
Actually, no, this is a pretty good time thinking about it. Because, here we go. I think that's right. Okay. Just sent him the invite.
I told him to look for that.
So it should arrive in his Gmail in a second.
All right, Ian.
Yes.
I may need to request my first supply drop of perishable goods from you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. I gotta run to the office anyway, to do some shipping, or like ship out some equipment to people. So I think what I'll do is, I'm gonna go in like early in the morning, like 8 a.m. and take care of that. So yeah, just send me like the info, and I'll swing by the grocery store, pick up the stuff, and drop it off at your place on the way back to my place. Okay. Oh, actually, double check. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Let's see here. A person arrives. Hello.
Person.
Hello.
Jacob,
Hello.
you can hear me?
hello.
Yep.
Alright.
I don't have a webcam on my PC, so apologies.
That is
No problem.
okay.
We're all good. You're actually at the perfect moment because
Uh-oh.
Oh Lord.
I'm going to have... I know you're basically just observing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce your character,
Okay.
but we'll get like your character built and get the stats later.
Mhm.
So we're at the Inquisitorial Conclave, and we're just going over a discussion about before the actual meetings start. It's breakfast time, and they're just doing a like a mingle, and then they're going to start the meeting concerning their investigation of the crime syndicate called the Ebony Syndicate. And so it is you're working for Inquisitor Luther Helscythe and his interrogator Selena Escher. So Selena Escher comes up with someone you've never seen before, and just sits down, grabs a little bit of bacon off of Watchmaker's plate, and just
Fucker.
hello, folks. So I have someone I'd like you to meet. A member of one of my retinues I've been mentoring. And she points to Jacob's character to introduce themselves. So...
Hey, it's me,
We can even just give you a code name for right now.
the guy.
Yeah, okay.
That's
It's
pretty good.
me.
Yeah, we're calling him... This is Agent Green.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to know his real name right now, but don't worry. He's going to be shadowing you for the time being. Alright. Meeting's starting in just a few minutes, so finish up. And remember, have fun. And she slaps you on the back. But yeah, actually, just a few moments after she says that, one of the inquisitorial pages comes out and just announces that the meeting will be starting in the next 15 minutes. And so everybody's starting to be ushered into the like the sealed like meeting chamber where it's being held. And it's basically just like expect to see like college lecture hall where it's although in reverse, where it's all the stairs are like heading up to a center platform, and everyone's kind of like lower level. So you get sent into like the kind of mid-level with Selena Escher and Helscythe flanking you, as well as members of their support staff, like the actual support staff who are handing them like data slates with reports on the like. And at the center platform is the Lord Inquisitor, Hadril Maris, as well as like members of his support staff. And so he's just in like this large throne, decked out in his like full inquisitorial garb, like the icons of the Inquisitors, just like all over like his armor. And he has like a large staff, and he just bangs on the ground with just like silver skulls going around, just projecting his voice out. And is like, meeting to order. We will begin by discussing our investigations into the Ebony Syndicate. We will begin from hearing from the first Inquisitor, and somebody hands him a data slate with a name. Let's see here. Inquisitor Wilberg, report. And you see like a younger Inquisitor who stands up. You suspect him to be like newly made a member of the Inquisition, stands up and just gives a report on his investigations in the Ebony Syndicate, disrupting various like smuggling operations, disrupting their like trying to move xenotech, which actually sounds pretty familiar to you. And it just goes through like this with him calling to like various Inquisitors who are all giving various reports These have all been submitted, but it's more like out in the open, so everyone's aware of what's going on. And he eventually calls forth Luther Helscythe. Helscythe stands up and just gives a report about really like all of your missions, as well as various other missions you're not familiar with, talking about different hive worlds, different like agriculture worlds, forge worlds, going through like these reports that you have never heard about but have been disrupting the Ebony Syndicate.
Same general area of the galaxy or all over the place?
No, this is located entirely within the Askelion sector. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's a huge section, but like...
But yeah, relatively speaking, still in our backyard.
Yep. And just like Inquisitors like you've never seen, or like Inquisitors you have seen, like Inquisitor Tiberius and Galena, the like who are you would remember as being like friends with Helscythe.
Yep.
As well as Inquisitors Gilbert Aubert and Odilin Lamar, who you've noticed have been set on opposite sides of the room you're in.
Oh, those are the ones who hated each other, right?
Yeah, and with inquisitorial aides coming to them and just making sure to when Inquisitor Albert stands up and gives his report, you see inquisitorial aides come over and make sure to kind of shush Lamar. And when Lamar stands up to give her report, inquisitorial aides come over and shush Albert. Make sure they don't interrupt.
There's no fighting in the war room.
Basically, yeah. It's very dry, but it's just constant reports, details of what's been going on, and it just goes on for several hours as different members of the Inquisition stand up before people aren't really paying attention to you so much if you want to go around. You do see inquisitorial staff getting up and taking breaks, or just as long as they keep their voices down and don't interrupt anyone, they're generally considered to be within protocol. Yeah. So if you wanted to do anything in the few hours while this is going on.
So as they're delivering their reports, I know it's all pretty dry and generic, but on the whole, is there any pattern that becomes apparent that maybe we hadn't picked up? I don't know how to exactly say that, but
yeah, I understand.
As we get the bigger picture, is there something that's kind of coming out of that?
Make a logic test to see if you can identify something. You can make this an extended one because it is over the course of a few hours.
I think I'm very logical, but
logically dangerous.
We'll give it a spin.
I mean, 40k logic is kind of dangerous at some... Yeah, kind of, actually. Don't learn too much.
I pretty much have no hope at logic tests, but
yeah.
Let's try to tackle that.
Yeah, give me just a sec. I just started a thing. I can't pause.
I gotta admit, you guys are more meant for rumbling rather than investigation.
It doesn't help that whenever we try to do detective stuff, the dice betray us.
This is
I'll
true.
Give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Let's see.
You do... Oh, there you go. Wow, nice.
What the...
Critical success. Okay, cool.
Okay, that saves me a trip.
Yep. So, Tigo, just general, your death... I think you're from a death world, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Tigo, you're just general death world, hunting knowledge. Weirdly applies to this. You can definitely see a pattern to movement, and you're seeing the overarching idea of the Ebony Syndicate, and you get the idea since the Civil War that had engulfed the Askelion sector a few centuries ago, have picked and the Ebony Syndicate has actually managed to go from a small crime syndicate to being able to just explode outwards as the Civil War is raging, and people just were not able to contain them or investigate them. So they've been able to explode out, and so finally the containment is in effect. And so you're seeing worlds, and you're able to identify where they are. If you had taking a look at a map of the Askelion sector, you're able to see the different worlds that the reports are referring to, and you're like, okay, this world is here, this world's here, and as different Inquisitors talk about which ones, you're getting an idea of like how the pattern is, like each Inquisitorial investigation is disrupting one planet after another, and they're like their web. So you are actually able to see that they are being like driven back from different sections, and like the web they've set up to do their business is slowly being like chipped away.
Good.
So you're actually able to get like a decent idea that you are making good headway, but it's still a large sector. And but finally, it is Inquisitor. I literally just had his name right here. Why am I having such a hard time finding it?
It's never there when you look.
Hussar. So finally, it's Inquisitor Hussar's time to like speak, and he gets called, and he's giving his report, and he just explains how he had been having trouble like getting headway with finding anything to do with the Ebony Syndicate, and then he eventually makes a break in the case when he finds a basically like a tome of demonic lore, the secrets of the hidden path.
Right,
And
that was the book we suspect they had.
yeah, and after he found the tome, and as well as a treasure trove of like other information, according to him, and he's able to then make huge amounts of headway against the Ebony Syndicate, and able to actually like disrupt major portions of their operation. Going back to like Tigo's previous role, he's mentioning like all these different planets, space stations, important people, and Tigo just like has the map in front of him. He's just like pointing at like just all these different worlds and be like, okay, he went here, disrupted this. He's got like teams here doing this. Mentions a frontier world that did a little bit with the Ebony Syndicate that wasn't something the name sounds familiar, and actually the yeah, here we are. It is on a frontier world of Gorix, which you remember as being like one of the worlds you had gone to when you were first started with Hellscythe.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just like going through all these different worlds, and his report actually goes way longer than everybody else's because his agents have been able to do like just do the most amount of work against the Ebony Syndicate. And you see Lord Inquisitor Mars just like give like a half smile and like a nod. And then finally like Hussar sits down, like his time is done.
This is bad.
That's quite a spread.
He came right out and admitted he had the book and wove it into his own tale of.
He had admitted he found the book being used.
He already was on record as saying he had it, but he said he destroyed it, right?
Yeah, he said that as soon as he had the book, as soon as he realized, like he in the report, like the actual details were he had gone to this world, and the Ebony Syndicate had been working with like local heretics, like a demonic heretical cult, who were working with the Black Legion, and he had managed to disrupt them and had found the book and just burned it right away as soon as he realized what it was. Like he suspected it was prescribed knowledge, but as soon as he realized how much of a heretical tome it was, he just immediately destroyed it.
So he says.
So he says, yeah, according to his report. And the actual report does say that after that mission, he was able to get just tons of information about the Ebony Syndicate and get a number of different leads, and that's why he was able to make such good progress against them.
Because of the book?
I think
we
can possibly draw the conclusion that that mission is when he joined the Ebony Syndicate.
Yeah. Well, you don't
Took over.
That's also when his progress expedited.
Yeah, and from when the time, like basically he gives like the time and date of when he did when he found this book. This happened just a few months, just like a month or two before you went to the the world of Omnia to do the investigation there. And it was from what Hellscythe had told you on Omnia was where the demon host had been summoned and bound to a body.
Okay.
And it was after the Omnia mission where he was able to make such good progress. And now only really like a few additional months. Like Omnia happened, I think actually it was like 4 months after your mission Omnia. And so within those 4 months, he was able to make just immense amounts of progress.
What worries me is how.
Theory, one of his missing retinue is the demon host.
Yeah, the question is exactly how is he using the demon host to make progress? Like, that seems alarming.
Well, if we suppose that the sequence of events we're describing is him, either getting in with or taking over the Ebony Syndicate, at that point, he would have access to knowing everything that they're doing,
As well as the Inquisitor.
and he would be able to give up selectively operations to the Inquisition that will make it look like he's making great progress against them, while in fact
They are not.
this is some speculation here, but I think it's well-founded.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable. It just concerns me the fact that the demon host is in there at all.
Yeah.
Like, what's your win point there if they are in fact using it as a means to an end and they aren't just fully heretical?
What is that end?
Yeah, you don't need a demon host to take down a drug syndicate that smuggles in Xeno cartel shit. We know they are up to heresy. It's just maybe the host was part of, because they are dealing with heretical shit, like he found the book off them. Maybe that was like part of showing he's part of the team.
Maybe. Does Forbidden Knowledge Heresy give me any extra insight here, Ian?
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could make a roll on that.
Spin the wheel. Ooh.
Oh, wow, good. So you would know that, like, with the Forbidden Knowledge Heresy, you would know that the Ebony Syndicate, going from like a small like criminal group that trades in like drugs or like Xeno artifacts to going to actually smuggling and doing like working with heretical groups would be a major step up. It can make them a lot of money and get them a lot of power. But like that jump up is what really gets them the basically gives them the leg up over any competitors or any investigators. And it's just that like also chaos can be very addictive, and you don't even really realize, like, you think you can handle it and then you just don't. Like, it just takes over.
Okay.
But
so it sounds like they probably fell into that trap, and it's most likely.
But
Created the ghost out of hubris. I mean,
it's really going from local drug smugglers to heretical, not necessarily cultists, but working with cultists and like helping the cultists smuggling their artifacts, and giving them and even hiring them for things. That has left it going from like the Arbites, like the Arbites who care about drugs. It's the Inquisition that cares about the heretical stuff and is like going straight for the.
So they basically got into a bigger pond with bigger opportunities, but the risk of us.
Yep. And so, yeah. So after that, so the Lord Inquisitor Maris just finishes up like listening to one of the reports, and he just like slams his staff on the ground. It's like, we're calling a recess for lunch, at which point we'll be commencing in the next hour to continue this meeting. We've made good progress, however. And so with that, the doors unlock and people begin to shuffle out into like the meeting hall where lunch has been set up.
so
Are there like two lowly techs with a cardboard box smuggling food?
You can make an awareness check to see.
Hang on, I will do that in a moment. My bones, give them back.
No.
Come on, load. Load. There we go.
You don't see anybody like smuggling any like food out. you just see like members of the staff who are like bringing food out and just like waiting for everyone to finish up. You get the idea that they're going to wait for them to all eat and then are just
They
gonna
come
like.
after the lunch to take their.
You don't want to steal an Inquisitor's lunch. You don't want an Inquisitor who's hangry.
That would be a very terrifying combo.
Bad.
Just imagine Selena Escher
Yeah, that's what I was
God.
gonna
as
say.
hangry.
Oh God, no.
Having a low blood sugar.
Basically, yeah. But eventually, one of the an Inquisitorial aide comes up and taps Watchmaker on the shoulder. It's like, "Excuse me, sir, I have a message for you."
Yes.
He just hands you like a DNA encrypted data slate, and he's like, "When you press your thumb there, it will read your DNA, and it will unlock the message. Thank you, sir."
Okay, I will make sure we're not being snooped upon, and then I will check.
Yeah, if you want to make like an awareness roll to make sure nobody's like listening in or like spying on you or anything.
Darn it.
You don't see anything.
Seems totally safe.
Seems fine.
Let's just do this in the middle of the room.
Just like literally right there at the table, and it's like playing on open audio. So yeah, I will, having done my due diligence and, with the others around, I'll,
Can we assist on that roll?
Yeah, everybody could make awareness rolls if you'd like.
Okay, I shall assist. Let me get my cheat sheet up.
Okay. And I'm assuming, and is it Agent Green is with you?
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Where's
Oh,
awareness?
Ian, do you want to give him access to my character sheet so he can look at a character sheet?
Yeah, I could do that.
It's a lot to absorb.
yeah.
There you go. I think my awareness roll helped out.
Thank you.
Uh,
You're rolling the nice today.
For once.
Yeah. The dice do tend to like to bully us, don't they? Like, we can succeed at the most trivial bullshit of all time, but we can't pass a single basic roll that's actually doing our jobs. Unless it's like turning a man into fine mist. We're good at that.
I'm very good at that.
hey, when you're in the Inquisition, you also have to deal with the bureaucracy. All right, but so we'll just start. So Jacob, you actually have access to Gardefel's character sheet now.
Okay.
So if you wanted to take a look over that. And so with that awareness roll, yeah, you're pretty sure nobody's like looking at you. Everyone is really at this point, everyone's kind of gathering around Hussar, and are trying to actually pick his brain, like get information about like how like he's able to get such good information, like how his investigation is going so well when they've been struggling. Yeah, some people have been struggling. And you also see the Lord Inquisitor come up and congratulate Hussar. And you remember from last time, from what you had heard, that Hussar is set to be the next Lord Inquisitor after Maris retires.
What if we started rumors? Like, what if we went to our newfound drinking buddies in the kitchen staff and maybe like accidentally dropped some information with them? Not even being like, start this rumor for us. Like, oops, this fell out of my pocket and you found it. And we could use them to start rumors about Hussar.
You could definitely try that if you'd like.
Thoughts from the team?
We could. They might see right through that. Because, I mean, I'm sure Inquisitors try to get one over on each other all the time.
Yeah.
Not sure if that would help too much in terms of the length of the conclave.
You suspect it
go
go on.
Sort of doesn't work very fast. We kind of need to get evidence and get it in front of the higher ups in a very solid fashion pretty quickly. Maybe not.
Well, looking at the Watchmaker's discussing this with them. When Watchmaker unlocks the message, it just says help requested, signed Adrian Champernon.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure the others know that. Let me recheck my notes. Swear to God, I can find anything except what I'm looking for.
The cybernetic savant guy.
Yes, the older one.
Yep.
Yes, the older one.
Okay. That being done, I guess I'll go and maybe tell the others to stay here, because it was just specifically addressed to me, not to the rest of them.
Well, yeah, it was given to like Watchmaker, and you had the gene lock for it.
Yeah. So rather than show up with everybody and say, "Hey, I told everybody you wanted me," I'll go on my own and just tell them either, if you don't hear from me for a while, assume foul play. But
We will.
that is how you do in the Inquisition. And I'll go see him.
I'm gonna start assuming foul play right now.
Yep.
My God, he's dead. I haven't even left the room.
Time to get ready for motor hoboing.
Better not have to murder hobo. We're all unarmed here.
All right. So what are you doing exactly? Are you just heading directly over to see him?
I'll send a page and, well, yeah, I guess I'll just go kind of keep a lookout for him, like, directly, and see if I can look like I'm just kind of grabbing his ear to ask something. Maybe because everybody is asking Hussar about his successes, kind of make it look like I'm kind of picking the brain of one of his guys.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Hussar would be with his entire, like, it would be Hussar and it would be Sutton, and so it'd be like the retinue. So you would see him there with like the group of people.
So yeah, what I'll do is I'll come over as well, especially because we work together with what's his grommet, the torturer.
Yeah, with Sutton, the interrogator.
Okay, yeah, the interrogator. That's
Yep. And so yeah, so you just see like a whole group of people. So if you wanted to, you could
yeah, I'll mingle in with them, just so he knows that I'm there, and he'll know I received his message, and then I'll kind of be listening in, as if I'm trying to also glean info off of Sutton.
And so there would be several people like talking to him, and you would see and so it would be Champernon as well as Alda Thorne. It's because she's his
Learning from him, right?
yeah, she's his protege. So Champernon just says he sees you approach. He's like, "Oh, Mr. Toke, was it? Yes, good to see you. Can I help you?"
I just thought I might come over here and glean what insight I could from the very successful works of Master Sutton here. But I see there's a bit of a line. Maybe, I hate to impose, but I could perhaps bother you for the trivial things so he doesn't have to repeat himself 100 more times?
Oh yes, of course. Yes, I could come with you. And Alda Thorne cuts in and is like, Master Champernon, should I come with? It's like, nope, that's fine. We'll just be discussing right over here. Please, stay here. We'll be just fine. And so he just walks away with you. But you do see Sutton, like, see what's going on and make eye contact with you as you walk away with Champernon.
I'll play it cool. I'll just kind of give him a respectful nod as if he's a respected business colleague, somebody I've worked together with.
He nods back, and then goes back to talking to who he was speaking to originally. And so, where would you like to suggest Champernon go to?
We don't want to make it like immediately vanish from the room. I'll go over to like not like a super isolated corner, but someplace where we have a little bit of privacy, like basic pull aside for a conversation as if there's nothing untoward. And if he can't tell me here, we can arrange a meeting later. Whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, so you just bring him over like to the side a bit.
Yeah,
not really far from everybody, but
as
just
if it's
enough.
literally an aside, so anything he needs to tell me that he can tell me, if he acts completely normal, then I'll know that he's worried about being surveilled right now. Because he came asking me for stuff. So if he just does the Q&A with me like I asked, then I'll know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Cool.
It's like, so Mr. Toke, how can I assist you?
Oh, well, we've obviously, you know, Inquisitor Hellscythe has also been on the trail of the Syndicate quite closely, and we've had a few successes, including the shared operations with you and yours. And, well, I wanted to make sure there was no failing on our part to notice what needed doing.
Oh, yes, no. Unfortunately, we never got a chance to actually work together in person. I believe you only worked with Interrogator Sutton. But, I mean, I've read your reports. You seem to be doing everything you should be. I don't think there's anything that we, should necessarily worry about. But I can share some information with you if you'd like.
I would appreciate that. Anything you could provide.
Yes, he pulls out a data slate and just like hands it over. It's like, here, take a look at this report. It mentions some of our investigations and should help you. That's why we're here, just to assist one another, to help dismantle the Ebony Syndicate. I especially recommend you check out some of the reports on the 20th page there.
I will go ahead and browse through it and happen my way to the 20th page.
All right. And it just says secrets hidden with Hussar.
I see. This does make sense. The finding. Yes, if you don't mind, I'd like to study some of the public, anything you've shared with the rest of the Conclave, anything you can about the operations we went on together, see them from your own perspective.
Yes, of course. Just takes back the data slate. It's like, I can provide some more information about our public workings together here. Let's see here. Yep. Just like fills out some information, hands it back. And if you take a look, it says under watch. Suspected.
Thank you.
Oh, one more bit of information just below there. And it says, let's see, it says, trust Alda. I may not be leaving the Conclave.
Oh my.
Nice.
And so, after reading that, he makes a point of taking back the data slate and then just wiping all the data and actually reformatting it.
Nice.
And
See, thank you.
just restoring back like an original report that an actual report he'd written, and then he heads back.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the help. I look forward to working with you.
Yeah. Yes, I hope we can see each other again in the future.
This guy's dead by morning.
Yeah. This dude is power fucked. I'll go back and go back to the others.
Prepare the funeral arrangements.
All right. So
And I'll play it cool for now.
Yep. And so it's like lunch, they serve like a nice lunch. It would be like Grok's meat, but it's very like well made, like well cooked, like definitely like top level chef level of cooking, as well as like salads, plenty of like food if you like. No one's going hungry. Everyone like plenty of food for like seconds, thirds, even more if you want it.
The cardboard box of acquisitions.
The box of acquisitions, exactly. Like you just see the staff just like looking over. They are not at all concerned about like going hungry as well.
Nice. Look at that, people not starving in 40K.
Only when you work for the Inquisition.
Yeah, really only here now.
Yeah, that's basically it.
But lunch goes like pretty smoothly. Like it's only gonna last for like an hour and change. But if you want to do anything else,
Let's see. I can't exactly go and tell the guys over Brecky that we're about to lose a potential head, but we've got some info. I'll just eat lunch, and what I will do is publicly discuss the elements of the operations we did with Sutton, as if I had actually just had that conversation we were pretending to have.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, you just go and
Say that
discuss.
stuff a little too loudly.
You discuss the.
I love stopping crimes. Stopping crimes is my favorite thing to do as an Inquisitorial Acolyte.
I like slicing people up into onions.
Selena Eschler
IRLs.
sits down with you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Selena Eschler just sits down with you. Is like, so discussing the whole Donna mission.
Yeah, that was yes.
That was an event in our lives.
It transpired.
It mentally destroyed somebody.
I'm pretty sure that the servo skull in my chambers has scabies from hanging out near Ariana after that mission.
Yeah, Escher just takes off her hat. It's like, shame I had to burn the autograph, but you have to do what you have to do. So, everything good to go with you?
So far, I think we're coming to a good understanding.
Good. Well, we'll be heading back into the chamber shortly for the next few hours of discussion. Apparently they decided that we couldn't read reports and just wanted to just hear the sounds of their own voice. Yep, just hear the sounds of their own voice. I mean, we're not busy at all.
Well, if we still have a few more minutes before we head back in, I might as well try to give you the quick version of what I learned, just so you're prepared to deal with any politicking in there.
Let's discuss this once we're back on Hellside's ship, away from prying.
Understood. That was kind of what he was angling towards without saying it.
She just takes her hat, puts it back on, and as people start heading back into the chamber to continue. So Inquisitorial aides and ushers are there, and they're just waiting on you. They just see you sitting at the table. It's like, we could bring you in whenever you're ready, sirs.
Ah, thank you.
And they bring you back into the chamber.
Finishing up whatever food. Gar's trying to get as fat as possible while we're hearing his real food.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Gar could really get good food whenever he really wants, pending.
Well, yeah. Gotta make a scene.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm with the Inquisition. Give me a real food. I don't want to do it.
That's the thing that would get you a good meal before somebody strangles you.
Right.
Possibly another Inquisitor.
Not before Gar sets him on fire.
Or they push Gar down so he burns himself to death.
He also has a chain axe.
Also, I was doing. I've been streaming Doom Eternal, and the tutorial text has yellow and blue font. So whenever there's yellow text, I talk like Gollum, and whenever there's blue text, I talk like it's been dubbed over.
Very good. I feel like Doom Eternal is the kind of game that leads to 40K.
It's a lot of fun.
Doom Marine's just a really good. It's proto Space Marine. Proto Space Marine.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But
it all starts with Marines in space.
Space Marine. Whether the Adeptus or Astartes now, because they can trademark that. Okay, so you just get led into the chamber, and doors close, lock, and Lord Inquisitor Maris just comes back, pounds his staff on the ground, and just begins. And next few hours of dry reports from the rest of the Inquisitors or interrogators
out loud that everyone's already read.
It's one of those this meeting could have been an email.
There's this one Inquisitor who's super peppy and uppy and insists before she gives her testament that we answer a trivia question.
Oh god. Yep. Inquisitors who just just lots of Inquisitors who just waste time doing basically just going on what's it called, a bird walk, where they just go on a bizarre tangent,
which was the style at the time,
and use it to take pot shots at their some of their Inquisitorial adversaries or some of the people they are in a rivalry with.
like it.
Like Inquisitor Aubert just mentioning how he's like well, one of the Inquisitors is speaking. Aubert like speaks up and mentions how he has been working on one thing and was able to succeed where certain Inquisitors, and he like looks over at Lamar, have failed, and just looks back to the Lord Inquisitor and could like lets the other Inquisitor keep talking. And it just goes on and on like this for the next few hours before finally it's time to go for like lunch or for dinner.
Hooray.
And you actually see like throughout the time like a lot of Inquisitors have like been perfectly like paying attention, but some of them have just like been going like through their data slates and are just doing like their own thing, like they're sick and tired of this. But it does finally
You see their eyes kind of
This
close.
really
and
is the
open
grim
rapidly,
darkness.
close, open rapidly.
just glaze over as they're
We've
just
all
like
been hurt so many times.
nope. But Hellscythe like to the next like to the side of you is just like paying complete attention to everybody, like head on a swivel, like really just like looking across everyone, eyes on everyone like a hawk, looking over Sutton, looking over Hussar and the rest of the retinue, and whispers something to Escher, and she nods. No smile, like normally she's kind of like that cocky, smug smile, but not right now. And finally, the Lord Inquisitor adjourns the meeting, and it's time for dinner.
Somebody, just some random aide yells, "Finally, we can die!"
Hooray.
That's like you hear like one of the members of like an Inquisitorial staff just kind of whispers that, perhaps a little too loud.
The yay or the finally we can die?
Both. You see like an interrogator like just kind of put his hand on his shoulder and just give it like a short like shake, and the guy just shuts up.
That's another face we won't see tomorrow morning.
Well, so passes Inquisitor Matthew. Died of sassing his Inquisitor.
You can't sass.
So we really need to find a way to get word to what's his face, Champerdon and Thorn. We need to find a way to communicate with them. I don't know if we want to sync up with Hellscythe and whatnot first, but
Alright. So, yeah, you could definitely do that. Like, Hellscythe and Escher are eating dinner. You see, like, aides coming around with, like, trays of food and drinks. Escher has, like, a wine in her hand and is, like, stacking on some... like, some of the, like, hors d'oeuvres they're bringing, as well as, Hellscythe himself isn't drinking, but he does have some food that he's eating while talking to various people, various Inquisitors. Especially, he got together with Galena and Tiberius to do like a discussion. But for the most part, it's just dinner, mingling again. After that very long, boring session, even the Lord Inquisitor just like
He's just burned out.
wanted to break like the tension. And various aides are going around just informing Inquisitors and interrogators that the next part of the meeting will be starting tomorrow in the morning,
Okay.
where they'll be discussing ways that they basically like future plans and seeing like getting various assignments to investigate the Ebony Syndicate. But you do see like Sutton and Hussar and their the Acolytes with them, but for right now, everyone's just eating and talking and perhaps having a bit too much wine.
Ah.
Now you're talking his language.
Can we use our waiter friends to maybe pass this to these people without being observed and caught up?
Yeah, you could definitely see like a waiter, like some of the waiters you'd seen the previous day, walking around. You had played like it would be Regicide. That would be the game you had played with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you would see them like kind of walking around, delivering food. or just like standing off to the side in case anybody needed anything.
Can I, let's use like card game code to have them bring a message over to Champernot.
I'm a little worried that'll be too obvious. Maybe what we could do is retire to the ship a little early and then use that to tell Hellscythe
Just
and
about crazy.
Escher what he told us and get their recommendation on how we move forward with getting a message to him if we can possibly save his life. But it sounds like he was ready to die, knowing the risk. But if we give away the game by warning him too early and they see it, then we're not going to get anything.
True. Okay.
So I would just get their insight on ways we could get a message to them.
Yeah, they might have something we can use.
Yeah, this is probably not the first time they've had to do something sneaky at an Inquisitorial Conclave, so we can at least get their advice.
Good point. Good point. Okay. Yeah. Let's go for that.
Okay.
Let's all rally on the ship and sync up.
Lally ho.
And review information. That'll be the official excuse,
All right.
which isn't inaccurate.
And actually, an aide comes over to you while you're discussing this, and it says it has like another gene-locked data slate.
Okay.
For you, sir.
For Watchmaker again?
It was told to deliver it to your group.
Thank you. So I will once again try to find someplace isolated enough and check.
This time.
Unlocks, and it just says, meet me in the secondary meeting chamber at this time, Escher.
Okay.
And it just shows like you'd have a map of the of like the public areas of this the station you're on, Hecate, and it would you know where like the chamber is. It's really like called a meeting chamber, but it's meant for like 10 people at most.
Oh, it's a breakout room.
Yeah, basically.
And this is from Selena, you said?
It's marked Escher, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know if it's from her, but
I was gonna say, are these authenticated somehow? There's no proof of who sent it.
No, you wouldn't have any proof.
It's a trap.
yeah, I suspect it is.
All right.
But let's see. Trying to think if there's any way we could get warning or vet the at least bring word before we go. You think there's a subtle way we could do that? Maybe somebody could sneak off. Like maybe what we could do is make a big show of going to hang out with the other dudes again, the card players, and then one of us just goes off to the ship. Oh, you know what we can do? We can send something to our ship, like we got a request to bring them food, and somebody can either go with it or put a message on the cart when they deliver it to Hellscythe's ship, so we can let them know we've received this and we're going to investigate.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely do that. The hour would be like definitely after everyone's retired, so it would be like about 10 p.m. our time, like Earth time.
Okay.
I don't really
any
recall.
oppositions to that plan?
Sounds okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Very paranoid, which I guess is the right way to be.
Hey, you're in the Inquisition now. All right.
Pulling the plow.
Okay, so you want to meet with the like the people you're playing Regicide with last night around like 8-9 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you know where they were, so if you wanted to like just kind of make your way down that way around that time, you could.
That seems reasonable. And then what we can do is I'll set a timed message on my data slate as if they sent me a ping requesting that we send some food to them or get some food sent to them.
All right. So you're just gonna like inform them that you're
Basically, like I'll start shooting the shit, and then I'll get the timed ping as if I just got a new message and kind of go like, fucking.
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So you're easily able to like find them again. They see you and they're like, "Oh yeah, come on. We're just playing some Regicide." They have like their they've taken like off their overcoats and are just like in their like casual wear and are just like playing Regicide. They have like some food from the dinner, and they're just like shooting the shit with you. And it's like plenty of food if you want some more. Although saw one of the guys over like one of the interrogators' retinue, who was we kind of figured after he was done. What was it? What was the name? What was that guy's name? And like, with a gunslinger? He's like, Brennan? Like, yeah, I thought, he wasn't gonna like finish eating. I thought he was gonna eat it all. Like, he stopped eventually.
Yes, we've seen him eat.
He seems to,
Competitive eater.
he likes to experience things, I guess.
Well, I wish he wouldn't eat all the cookies though.
That animal.
I guess to be fair, a lot of these people probably haven't seen a cookie before coming here.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we got a little spoiled ourselves, but still. I mean, there's plenty of food. I've just never seen a man eat like that before. You just thought he was starving or something.
That seems pertinent.
All right, so at this point, did you want your ping to go off around this time?
Yeah, like after we've settled in and started shooting the shit. And just
Yep.
I checked my pad and I kind of groan like, ah. Could you guys do me a solid kind of gesture at the pad? They're asking us to send a little bit of food up to the ship so they can do some after hours discussion in the library.
Well, to the ship. Normally, everyone's in the station, but yeah, we could.
Everyone's paranoid now. You know how it is.
All right. I mean, it hasn't come down from official channels. Will we get onto the ship okay?
One of us can go with you, and we can make sure that they understand that we're allowed in. If they won't let you on, they'll at least let me on, so I don't get yelled at.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. What do they want us to bring over specifically?
Just whatever you got. They said they weren't picky, but they're not picky for Inquisitors. You know what that means.
All right. Well, we'll load up a little of everything and some bottles of wine. That obviously.
Thank you. I owe you guys another one.
And so, all right. Yeah, we'll bring that over in an hour or two. Yeah, we'll bring it over in the next hour. And they just like, let's just finish up this game. So they just like play the game of Regicide, and just for flavor, just roll a D100.
Okay. Everybody who's playing, or just me?
Everyone who's playing.
Yeah. Give me the dice. Haha, I did poorly.
Yeah, and I rolled a 1.
We just got fucking sharked by these guys.
They just
like,
clean.
you guys want to play for money, and they just clean our fucking clocks.
Yup, they just be glad the 1 came on this roll, on the fucking gambling where nothing matters.
Yes.
Yeah, we just got fucking wrecked.
For you though, the money isn't like completely immaterial. Like for them, it's well, actually, they don't really get a chance to spend it because they're trapped in a space station for the entirety of their lives.
Mostly just like for collecting brownie points.
Yeah.
Like they can just laugh about getting one over on an Inquisitorial retinue when they were hanging out.
Yep. It's gonna be a story for like
centuries.
It's gonna be like this is gonna get passed down to the next team. But
the ass kicking of a generation.
This is all they got going for them.
Yeah, we'll let them have this. They've been doing us solid so far.
All right. So you play Regicide with them. They clean your clock pretty easily, and it's about 10. It's getting close to 10 p.m. And they have the cart, and they're like bringing it over to Hellscythe's ship.
I go with them.
Did you want to? If you want to go with them, you can, and just
basically saying like because it didn't come through the official channels, I'll just make sure that there's no issue with them getting the food in.
Okay. And did Tigo and Deepfell want to go to the meeting room then?
Yeah, we'll go to the meeting room.
Okay.
Let's bring it.
Yeah. So heading to, we'll start with Tigo and we'll start with Gar. So they head. Oh, and actually, Agent Green. Did you want to go with Watchmaker or with Gar and Tigo?
I don't know.
I'll spring a trap.
I'll have you go with Gar and Tigo then.
Okay.
You're gonna need the combat backup. I mean,
I will.
Gar just kind of like
the body shield.
It's about to be a fist fight, anyways.
Yeah.
Unless it's the assassin with their dulled blades. Think about
So-
dull blades. You can fucking sharpen them.
So let's see here. All right. So yeah. So Tigo, Gar, Deepfell, and Agent Green go to the meeting room. Door opens up, and you see Selena Escher there. She's dressed in like the body glove with her combat harness. Good. I wanted time to talk. I need a report from you two. And where's Watchmaker?
Back on the ship.
Watchmaker
Fuck.
headed back to the ship, working another angle here.
All right. I prefer he.
Surprised to see you, actually, Selena. I was fairly certain we were springing a trap set by Sutton, but glad to see you.
She just frowns. What do you
Never
know?
be too careful.
True. What do you know about Sutton? Just give your full report.
Am I talking about the right
Yeah.
guy? Sutton and what's the other guy?
Hussar is the Inquisitor.
Sutton and right. Keep forgetting which one is.
Yeah, we
I'm down.
we pretty much give her all the info, and the Watchmaker has something for her that we have no knowledge of.
What does Watchmaker? Oh, you have no knowledge of it. All right. And so you tell her everything about that you know about Inquisitor Hussar, Interrogator Sutton. You tell them about the secret of the hidden path, or well, let's just give like the full rundown.
Quick out of character.
Yeah.
Is there in Warhammer? There's no like holographic camouflage going. Like nobody could.
Yeah,
make that
that's what I was actually thinking about.
There is holographic technology that will let you it will displace you. I think it's actually called a displacer field. It is basically holographic technology, and what it does is it lets you make it seem like you're elsewhere. It's basically like the action where you make like multiple holographic versions of yourself, and so it's harder to hit you. But that's mostly xenotechnology, like held by the Eldar.
So I have no reason to think that they would have any way to make a fake Selena. Like that's not.
They could, but it would be they'd have to start using like xenotechnology, and actually the xenotechnology they have wouldn't be able to make like a perfect like I look like this person. The holograms would not be able to make you look like somebody else, look like Selena Escher.
Would you say it's realistically not something to be concerned about? That this is just a
of them having xenotechnology that would do that?
well, no, we know they deal in xenotech.
Is
They're
this-
with the Syndicate.
Is this actually Selena?
Yeah, like do we have enough suspicion?
Is it within the realm of sensible possibility that Gar would be suspicious that this isn't the real Selena? Or would he have a reason based on what he knows to think that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Make an awareness roll.
Okay.
I was thinking of scrutinizing.
Yeah, you could do like scrutiny as well.
Yeah, do we have any like
They have a
inquisitorial code words that we could use to within our cell? Like these are the code names to let people know we're legit.
You weren't given any,
Damn.
but you could definitely like try and. Well, this is yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I'll fate that.
Okay.
As soon as I stop. going
Also,
to
she
one made-
frowned. She wasn't smug, and she's on her own.
Yeah.
This is like the overthinking Oglaf comic again.
All right. So you want to fake that, Tigo, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This I don't know. Selena just does. You're not sure. She doesn't seem right.
Aha.
Things don't seem correct about this. Like she's not smug.
Wait. First of all, she said anything like this would we would talk about on the ship, not in some conference room.
That's
He
right.
did. He did say that to us.
All right. So,
So,
we'll
yeah,
actually.
maybe what you guys should do is play dumb, like we don't have anything, or
Yeah.
We haven't found anything. We don't know shit. Watchmaker buggered off. We don't know where he went.
You had already mentioned Sutton. So
Okay, yeah, we had mentioned Sutton, but we can say
So she mentioned something first.
No. You mentioned Sutton because she then wanted to. She pressed you about that.
Find out about Sutton. And we found out that he likes to eat grilled oryx meat a lot.
well, we should make it something like we were asked to check into his loyalty, but he came up clean. Like we
Yeah.
couldn't find anything.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
But we'll actually switch over to Watchmaker right now, and Watchmaker just escorting the cart to the ship. The guards who are guarding like the entrance to like Hellside ship just see Watchmaker come up, as well as the person with the cart with food. And he's like, "Oh, Watchmaker, weren't expecting you. If you want access to the ship?"
Yes, if you don't mind. I'm gonna assume it'd be easier if I just bring the food in instead of having these guys try to pass through security.
All right, that's fine. I mean, we'll still have to, make sure
yeah.
you're not sneaking anything on board. But,
Of course.
and the door opens up, and it is Luther Hellscythe and Selena Escher.
Okay. I'll bring the food in quickly, like very quickly, not like running for my life quickly, but.
Like, Watchmaker, what are you doing here? Where's the rest of your team?
We got a message from somebody posing as you. We need to go find them right the fuck now.
Yeah, they immediately stop in their tracks. Where are they?
It was a meeting room, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
I tell them we were told to go to this meeting room.
Okay. And so, yeah, Hellscythe's like, Escher, take point on this. I'm going to head back to the ship. I have to deal with something very quickly. And he heads back in, and Escher just rushes with you to the meeting room. But we're going to switch back to Tigo and Deepfell. And Selena Escher there. It's like, I need a report. What have you found out about Sutton?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He's clean.
Nothing about Sutton.
Nothing.
You're not
He's
there,
clean.
Watchmaker.
I'm being sassy. Let me be
Yeah, no.
sassy.
Yeah, so I noticed that it's not her. It's definitely not her. So there's nothing. He's completely clean. Everything we've looked up passes.
I subjected him to great skepticism, but he is loyal.
Uh-huh. All right. And one of these days I'm going to, like, roll good on an enemy. So you're just telling them that... Oh, actually, make deception rolls to see if...
Deception. I gotta see if I got it. Jesus.
God and Jesus.
All right, totally fading that. Always do not pass this roll.
Seriously, anytime we do anything actually like roleplay and skill intensive on how we approach it, we always fuck up the dice rolls.
Honestly,
Hold up.
What the fuck?
hold on one second. This is still a post test, so
Okay. I'll stick with the 68. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's you still. Yep. Okay. That's enough. All right. You haven't found anything on Sutton. That's unfortunate. We had suspected he was a good lead. Have you found anything out about the Secrets of the Hidden Path?
The what?
The book
What
that
he said.
The Secrets of the Hidden Path. It was mentioned in his report during the conclave in the meeting when he gave...
Oh, yes. I recall that.
Yes. Did you find out anything about this?
Were we supposed to?
Make a deception roll.
Good one. You passed it in my heart.
Yeah, I know. There's no way you did not like crit
Hooray!
that one.
Yep.
There's some dice.
Yep. All right.
Whackity smackity doo.
Good.
Like right now, honestly, right now, I feel like she's just outing herself right now as fake.
So at this point, the door to the meeting room opens up, and Watchmaker and Escher comes in, and you have the very surreal moment of two Selena Eschers. The Escher who you met with, who is wearing her body glove, like the armored body glove with her combat harness, and the Selena Escher who is wearing her witch hunter gear.
They Spider-Man point at each other.
And the Eschner with the witch hunter gear gives a smug smile. It's like, Rule, to think to see you here, and you decided to look like someone so much better looking than yourself.
That one.
Gentlemen, may I introduce you to Calidus Assassin, Kirsa Rule? I thought you had been sent back to the temple. And you just see like the fake Selena just stand up. It's like, I think the meeting here is done. I know what I need to know, and she just leaves the room. Unless you want to try anything, but
Well, if not Hellside, if Escher isn't gonna try to stop her, then well,
Yeah, I mean, if she wants us to restrain her, we definitely will. But if she's gonna let it go,
she is a Calidus assassin. She's pretty unfuckswittable to us, but we do have Escher with us.
Yeah, she has good skills, but she has way better combat skills. But Escher is just... Also, you don't have any weapons on you.
Very true.
Escher just is going to let her go. Like, I legitimately thought she had been sent back to the temple.
Maybe they... I don't know.
I still love I'm still just like in awe of the
that was so good. That was so
the
good.
scene was so good.
So...
The what?
Shall we
head
back to the ship and we can actually discuss what's going on?
Let's head back to Hellside's ship.
Yeah.
And so we'll just fast forward very quickly. And so
That's
you're
also good lying right there on the spot, even with the bad rolls.
Yeah. No, that was really good. Like, you actually handled that very well.
How bad did you roll on the deceive that we passed?
How bad did...
It was a...
Or which deceive? Because you were basically deceiving one another and scrutinizing one another.
How bad was her deceive
Yeah.
when we saw through her?
It barely...
Like, my awareness passed. Like, I was going to notice something, but when we lied to her, it was a contested deceive.
It was back and forth. I'll give you that. I'm not going to give everything away. Although I guess you could just literally watch the video. But
yeah.
So back on Hellside's ship, in his office, it's Hellside, Escher, and the rest of you, and it's just them talking. And it's like Hellside speaks up, is like, this was a failure on my part. I should have known who was here, and frankly, it was unacceptable that a Calidus assassin, a shapeshifter, was able to be on board to do Sutton's dirty work and bypass us so easily. I'm sure the Lord Inquisitor knows she's here, so it's not like we can very well accuse him of anything now, but let me just say, how much did you tell her? How much can she go to Sutton with? How much can she go to Hussar with?
we told her nothing of substance, but I believe she was able to glean that we are in fact investigating.
Okay, good. Well, it's not the worst, I'll admit. I'm glad that she wasn't able to take you in with her ruse. In fact, the fact that you're able to glean that she was an imposter is very impressive. I'm actually quite impressed with how well you've handled that. A Calidus assassin is very... I'm sure you're not familiar with them. They're normally kept under lock and key, the information about what a Calidus is. They're a shapeshifter. They use a special chemical formula, polymorphine, to change their shape. It seems that she wasn't able to have enough time to study Escher to fully get her pattern locked down. Seems Sutton might have pressured her to move a little quicker than she'd prefer.
Well, I have some bad news, unfortunately, if we're all ready.
Yes?
I believe Adrian Champernon is not going to survive the Conclave. He asked to have a word with me by a DNA code lock message. I pulled him aside, we exchanged false pleasantries, and talked shop while he showed me notes on his tablet. We can trust... He said Rule, right? We can trust... No, not Rule. Thorn. Alda Thorn. He said we can trust Alda Thorn, but he's being watched, and the book is on Sutton.
Well, that's certainly not good. Well, this is definitely going to be... It's going to be tricky. We're going to need to approach this carefully.
Perhaps we could trip Sutton in the hallway, causing the book to spill forth from his robes. No? Alright, anyway.
Yeah, Hellscythe, his expression doesn't change. Escher, her jaw kind of opens up a little before closing, just like... Did you really? No, I'm going to leave that one. Nope.
I think you're more likely to get whatever's keeping, what was it? His sharpshooter sniper's alcohol in check gone, so he can do it himself.
Hellside just butts in. I appreciate the thought, Gar. It's good that you're trying to come up with a solution, but Hussar would definitely not keep the book on his person. He might keep it nearby. It might even just be on his ship, but he would not keep it on his person so easily. We're going to have to approach this a little more carefully. The other issue is he is expected to be the next Lord Inquisitor of the Ordo Hereticus for the Iskelian sector once Lord Inquisitor Maris retires. That won't be for the next few decades, but he's his favorite. We're going to need to play politics. Just like heavy sigh.
I side. I like murder.
I agree your talents of murder are most appreciated. You're a scalp. You're dagger where we need you the most. We'll leave it at that.
I don't suppose there's any way. I don't think it would work, but if we could get word to the Lord Inquisitor that he needs to have Sutton's belongings or the ship searched, if Chambernon happens to die, that would put us under direct suspicion for coming with something so audacious. But if he then did die, it might provide a justification to search the ship and find it.
Someone dying during an Inquisitorial Conclave,
Not weird.
it's rare. It happens. Somebody being murdered during an Inquisitorial Conclave is also not unheard of. But the Lord Inquisitor would not search his ship. He would not search his persons or his rooms, and Inquisitor Hussar would not allow it. He would consider it to be a grave. We would need evidence. And if his savant dies here, that would not necessarily be considered sufficient evidence. We would need more than that.
What if we released a novel coronavirus onto the ship, causing them to have to send in the health authorities to search everything?
That one does cause... I'm assuming that was out of character.
Ian has no idea how to react.
We're going to need something of substance. We could make some headway here, though. And if Champernon were to die, that might lead to a line of investigation we can focus on. It's a good thought. I like that. So, unfortunately, Hussar is politically powerful, and it's going to require us to approach this subtly. And besides that, he's also very intelligent. This deception with Rule, and the fact that he was able to have her escape my notice, is testament to that. So, this is far from over. We still have the rest of the Conclave to make headway while we're all here.
I think we got more information from them than they did from us.
I mean, they showed their hand.
Yes.
Yeah, bet.
Well, you mentioned Sutton, and I'm sure Rule is right now informing them of that fact. Hopefully they believe the rest of you. They believed your lie about not knowing about the book. And hopefully this has thrown them off our trail. But for the most part, we're going to have to play this one by ear, unfortunate as it is. Alright. Well, it's getting late. We have the rest of the Conclave to go through, and we're going to be focusing on how to best handle the rest of the Ebony Syndicate. So get some sleep. Just for your own safety, I recommend staying in your quarters on board the ship, as opposed to staying on board the station.
Reasonable.
Seems wise.
Now, good luck for the rest of you.
Likewise.
And with that, Helscythe goes into his quarters. Eschner gives you like as good a smile as she can, but she just walks out to head to her quarters. And I think, is there anything you want to do before bed, or?
I think I'm all galaxy brained out for the moment.
I can't think of anything before bed.
All right. So I think with that, we'll fast forward to the next morning.
Okay. Before we
Oh, yeah.
recommence fully, I was just gonna grab a cup of coffee.
Yep, go ahead. We'll take a quick break.
Yeesh.
I may be as much as 10 minutes. I'll be back.
All right.
Not that long for me.
I think I can pause. I'll pause the recording then. All right, and back from break. So, we've had a very, very stressful evening, but it is breakfast time, and once again, it's a very nice breakfast. So all the Inquisitors and their staff are just like talking, eating breakfast, having the recap. Very similar repeat to what was happened the previous day. A lot of Inquisitors look maybe a little hungover, trying their best not to show it. Some Inquisitors are doing their best to just pep themselves up. They really don't want to go into this meeting. At least it's not just a retread of the reports. The agenda for today is to discuss how you're going to go in and actually deal with the rest of the Ebony Syndicate, dismantle the rest of them. So, pretty like standard breakfast. If you're not doing anything, we'll just start the meeting right away. And it's really more the same. You just get ushered in to into the chamber. The doors lock, and just goes through the Lord Inquisitor calls to order. And at this point, it's very just like brainstorming, free discussion. The various Inquisitors like putting in their 2 cents just to say of how they think they should approach like taking care of the Ebony Syndicate, making sure that the people are arrested, and a lot of Inquisitors actually want to be more open with the fact that the Inquisition is investigating them. They want to be able to arrest members of the Ebony Syndicate and then do public burnings, public executions, make sure that people are aware that they are being hunted. But there's also a large...
vigorously as they're talking about.
A lot of the more puritanical Inquisitors are just like, one of them, like, Albert just slams his fist on the table and it's like, we need them to burn. Public execution, that's the way to do it. Go into the capital of any city we find them, tell the public what their crimes are, and watch them burn. It's a perfect way to like root them out. It'll get them scared, and then Lamar just pipes in like, don't be an idiot. If they know we're hunting them, they'll go to ground. Right now, they don't know we're investigating them. And they just get into a shouting match with one another.
While we're doing this, I'm going to want to do 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pay attention to any suggestion from Sutton or his crew to see what their angle is. And I'm also going to less subtly like look up at Sutton's crew repeatedly and see if they can notice me noticing them, as if I'm a rookie Inquisitor and the encounter last night shook me.
Yeah.
Make it seem like I'm bad at hiding my tells after running into them last time.
Yeah, go ahead and make an awareness roll.
I will an awareness roll as soon as my stupid. Why am I so bad at parsing where the info is on the? There we go.
It's a pretty crazy character sheet.
Yeah, it's very bounce around.
And that's the funny thing is.
Hooray!
Okay. All right, that's really good. All right, yeah. So you're able to keep an eye on Sutton and Hussar. They're actually really quiet. They are not really bringing in any suggestions. Anything that is mentioned, Hussar is merely like nodding or giving like encouragement or just disagreeing with some options that come up. He is less interested in actually revealing that the Inquisition is openly hunting the Ebony Syndicate and is more agreeing with Lamar that they should just stay stealthy, yeah. But he isn't actually doing anything. But his crew you definitely see Sutton like looking over at you every once in a while. But he doesn't show anything. Like you don't see any indication of his true intentions, his true feelings.
Okay. Is his entire retinue still there?
It's the retinue from yesterday. You don't see Carissa Rule, although at this point she wouldn't look like
herself anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a shapeshifter. Calidus assassins are meant for like disguising themselves as people and like infiltrating in. So, but it's very just like this portion of the meeting is at least a lot more interesting because it's like, what are we actually going to do about this, and like free brainstorming of what the intentions are. And also you can see some of the Inquisitors who are like definitely a little more amused by the Albert and Lamar's
feud.
Slap fighting.
Yeah, the feud at one another.
Just fuck already.
And eventually the Lord Inquisitor has to like slam the staff on the ground, and just like the loud like sound just reverberating through the room, and just calls to order. Like, enough! I'd like to hear from some other Inquisitors, please. Hellscythe just stands up. We need to focus more on the heads of the Ebony Syndicate. If we can remove their leadership, we can fracture the organization and more easily take them apart when they don't have people who they can rely on and network. And like Inquisitor and Sutton speaks up, is like, an excellent thought, Inquisitor, but we don't know who the heads of the Ebony Syndicate are. And Hellscythe just replies back like, we need, like, if we can find out, I know we have the option to do it. Right now we're just chipping away at the edges. We need to make a decisive strike against them, and I know that if we pool our resources, we can. And don't you agree with me, Inquisitor Hussar? And Hussar doesn't say anything. He just nods. He's like, but it's kind of like not a very like.
It's a
yeah.
Oh man, what if? And maybe if there's a break in the middle of the brainstorm, I can suggest it to Hellscythe. What if we suggest we try having somebody infiltrate the Ebony Syndicate?
All right. Yeah, you could just.
I mean, they've obviously already done that, but we can act like it's a novel idea, and that'll put pressure on them because they could get found by us on the level.
Yeah, you could definitely like. There would be a break because you would the itinerary for the day would show that there is a lunch break.
And the best thing is I don't even have to like hide that I made that suggestion. It's a valid suggestion to make over lunch. I could just say it, and the implications of what investigating would mean would be understood by Hellscythe without us having to go back to the ship.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely mention that during the break, which would actually be only in like an hour or so from where you are. But yeah, so the rest of it keeps going forward. People are just putting up various suggestions, ideas, and eventually, like the lunch break does get called to order, and everybody gets shuffled out. So yeah, if you wanted to go to Hellscythe and tell him what you wanted to do.
Yeah, like maybe over lunch if he eats with the rest of us.
Yeah, so it's lunchtime, and Hellscythe does meet with Escher, and Escher put on like the smug smile, like kind of looking around.
That's the Selena we love.
Although, just for ha-has, I want to have everybody make like an awareness roll. Or a scrutiny. I want you to make a scrutiny roll.
Damn it. Oh, I wonder. Damn it.
You did security.
I did?
Yep.
Oh, I did.
My mom needs help with something. I think I might get off for now.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it's
There
good
we
to...
go.
Thank you for letting me check it out, and I'll let Jeremy know when I can do it again.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thank you
Thank
for
you very
pointing that
much.
out, because that took us from a -20 to a +10.
Yes.
Made a bit of a difference.
All right. Hopefully you can play with us in the future, Jacob.
Yeah, of course. I'll let
Peace.
Jeremy know.
All right, cool.
Peace out.
Peace, y'all.
Later, Green.
And with that, Agent Green gets summoned back to the ship.
Back into the warp, he goes.
Let's see. Since Watchmaker got that success, do we all need to still do it?
Everybody can if you'd like.
Is it Rule again as Escher?
No, it's really just Selena putting on like a brave face. The events last night, while she played it cool, did shake her.
Okay.
The fact that they were so openly, well, inquisitorial openly attempting to get information like that. But yeah, watch. If you wanted to, you could easily just approach Hellscythe.
So yeah, I will do that and say, Inquisitor, I had a suggestion for a proposal for the meeting.
Oh, yes, do tell.
Perhaps we could have either inquisitorial agents directly or our local contacts on the ground as we rebuild our network infiltrate the Ebony Syndicate and pose as members.
Well, we are attempting to do that. In fact, we've had limited success in attempting to, if not infiltrate into their organization, turn members against them for pardons. It's seen some success, but not to the levels we'd had hoped at this point.
Perhaps if we made an increased focus of it?
That is something we could focus on, and would be a good plan to focus. We do, well, I shouldn't say we have limited resources, but we have to apply our resources efficiently. Maybe infiltrating in would be a good idea. We'll definitely give a pipeline to the to information, and also might allow us to feed them any information we would need. I actually do think this might be a good idea. And you just see like the gears turning in Hellscythe's brain as you
Yes.
realizes that they can not only get people to like give them like report on the Ebony Syndicate operations, but also feed the Ebony Syndicate if they info they want and start doing some entrapment. So Hellscythe just nods. He just puts his hand on your shoulder. Good thinking. But for the rest of it, it's just lunch. And it's the same, like, very good meal that you've come to expect from now on. That really just goes without any real incident. And so everybody just gets ushered back into, unless somebody wanted to do something else in that time. But if not, we'll just go back to the lunch will conclude. Yeah, so lunch concludes, everybody gets pushed back in, and the rest of the meeting goes forward. And Hellscythe, once order is called and everybody's allowed to speak again, Hellscythe stands up again. We need to focus our attentions on having more infiltration and turning of members of the Ebony Syndicate. We've been spending too much time killing their members when we should be turning them against us or infiltrating our own agents inside. I especially think we need to focus on feeding them false information, which we can use as traps for them. And other Inquisitors are nodding or like saying agreement. Certain Inquisitors like poke up. Inquisitors you've never seen before like speak up and it's like, we've tried that, but it's never had good luck. We can't just magically infiltrate in our agents. We need to find some of their operation and then spend months, if not years, getting them trusted enough inside the organization. And you see more people like agree to that, like, yeah, that's true. They can't really just like get agents inside so easily. But Hellscythe's like focusing on this, like, we have this should be the crux of our strategy. Nothing else we're using is working. But actually, then at this point, Hussar speaks up. He's like, we have our own methods. We're making good progress. Within the next few years, we should have the Ebony Syndicate heads. Well, we'll have their heads on a pike, really. And then going back to Hellsight's like, and why do you say that, Inquisitor? And Hussar just speaks back, I have my methods. Don't worry. And you get, like, actually, I want everyone to just make an awareness roll while this is going on.
Hooray!
All right. Watchmaker sees this. Saw it a lot in the guard, where he looks up to the Lord Inquisitor. Whenever Hellscythe gives the suggestion, his face kind of like stony faced. But whenever it's Hussar who's giving a suggestion, he gives like subtle nods. Like the body language very subtly shows that he agrees with Hussar's assessments. And when Hellscythe is attempting to pressure him into giving more information, he's not as pleased with Hellscythe. And Watchmaker, you're just very used to seeing this with like officers who have like a favorite
subordinate or whatever.
Yeah, like a favorite subordinate, somebody who works for them, and they have like somebody who they find too ambitious, who they don't really like their suggestions. And it's as you watch the exchange go forth, you just see this like come like this idea. So.
I'm trying to think if there's anything we could do. I almost wish I was able to put Hussar on the spot by saying, you've met with the most success out of all of us since your breakthrough.
Share your methods.
I mean, you could.
If not share your methods, then like invite them to maybe spearhead an infiltration, or maybe help us spearhead an infiltration.
You definitely could. This is free exchange, so anybody who wants to can speak up.
You probably have the best chance of getting that through out of all of us.
Yeah, my only concern is whether it would play too much into their hands to give them the charge of being the ones in charge of the investigation, if you know what I mean. Because on the one hand, I want to pressure them, because this would be a good way to not only actually bring down the Ebony Syndicate, but also flush out Hussar. Just trying to think of the best way to go about this.
Well, yeah, it's going to keep going. So, if you want to like speak up, you'd be perfectly fine. Like you actually do see some acolytes, some interrogators, like speaking up, who aren't just inquisitors, but it's mainly the inquisitors who are talking. But if you wanted to like actually,
trying to think of the best way we could angle this, because I think this is a good approach. We just got to find a way to deliver it. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I like the idea. I just don't know how to approach it.
Yeah.
I actually really like the idea.
Just trying to think of
because if you present it and he declines, then he makes himself suspect for his methods.
But if he accepts it, then that might position him to be in charge of the infiltration effort. So even if we did have evidence, he could say, "Oh no, that's just our infiltration."
I mean, we can say something about, maybe using some shape-shifting assassins as
I was going to say, you have a Calidus assassin in your retinue, don't you? Do you want to try that angle, guys?
Yeah, I mean, it might shape the tree a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. While you're deliberating, Escher just says, if you have anything to add, you can speak up.
Yeah, I'll stand up or raise my hand or whatever the accepted thing is, and say, if I may, Interrogator Hussar has been...
Inquisitor Hussar.
Or Inquisitor, yeah.
There's two eyes.
Yeah. Inquisitor Hussar and his team has been far and away the most effective thus far, and I'm inclined to trust their methods and their information, not all of which I'm certain we're at luxury to share here, but perhaps we could combine their expertise with some of our specialists in the Inquisition in infiltration and deception. I know several members of various special agencies are in the retinues, ourselves included, of course. and perhaps could assist in infiltrating most effectively, especially when levered with the information that the Inquisitor has already found through his breakthroughs.
And so Inquisitor Hussar stands up. Is like, if you're speaking about the Calidus assassin, she was on loan from the temple, and they're expecting me to have her sent back for a next assignment. But
Certainly arrangements could be made. Pipes up Gar.
yeah, Hellsight stands up. Is like, the Officio Assassin, the temple of, like, the Assassin's Temple, like, does work with the Inquisition. I think it's a wise idea to start having more Calidus assassins to infiltrate in. They could easily replace members of the Ebony Syndicate and provide us the information we need. And then, actually, you hear, like, a lot of Inquisitors, like, talking around. It's like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Like,
Good idea.
and Hussar's like, the issue is finding out who they can infiltrate into. We know of some of their cells, but for the most part, they try and keep themselves cut off. The heads of them don't want to be associated, wisely for that, from their perspective, with the actual people doing their dirty work.
We have made great strides, however, and perhaps if we were to simply arrange a feint through more... That's it. Perhaps if he kind of gives a nod to the Puritan side of the table. If we make a public showing of increased force, while we also approach them from a position of stealth, they won't expect both fronts. We can infiltrate through the subtle means while we divert them with public... yes. With public acts and decrees and declarations, that will, if nothing else, force them to ground. But if we can establish ourselves for a few months first and know where to look before they begin to retreat, we can both detect where they are no longer operating, and we can see where they are going to, and we can infiltrate them that way. A few key people studied here and there, removed and replaced with Calidus or any of our other specialists, he says again. I think that could work. I truly believe it could work.
And you have, like, Inquisitor Lamar speak up. Like, if we put too much pressure on them, they'll go to ground. So we'd have to infiltrate in before doing that.
Before or during. People make mistakes under duress.
And then Inquisitor Albert stands up. Like, he's right, they do. We need to be more forceful with them.
Three rooms that way, guys.
You can create some stress by announcing some executions and see who tries to bug out.
What if we
process?
Suppose we orchestrate a schism, area by area. Each of us is assigned our own operations and missions in different areas, independently operating from one another. Suppose some of us opt to take the public path, gestures again at the Puritans, and some of us opt for continuing as we were. That will, if nothing else, displace people into the sectors that are less publicly scrutinized, and we could study the influx as they come in, and that would give us leverage to infiltrate them as they are moving their operations to adjust for the regions elsewhere.
Yep. Albert stands up. Like, he's right. We focus our attentions, make our presence known in certain areas as opposed to other areas. They'll feel safe in those sections, thinking that we aren't paying attention to them. And Lamar is forced to accept that, yes, that actually is a good point.
Yay.
And then Albert continues, like, and besides, the methods we've been approaching before have not been working. They need to go quicker. The Ebony Syndicate has taken root too long. And
we'll adapt if we simply maintain orthodoxy.
And Albert points out the only one who's really making good progress is Hussar there, and he's not even he refuses to tell us his methods. And Hussar is about to speak. Sutton just speaks up beforehand and just says, "Our methods need to be our methods are our own, our agents are our own, and our investigation is our own. We've told everything we need to in our report, and we don't need to answer to you." Albert fumes at this, that like an interrogator would just like speak down to him like that.
Well, I think if nothing else, we kind of forced him into a gaffe.
And
We just turned everybody on them. Very slightly. And we made those two guys friends. If only for like 2 minutes.
I think it's one of those things where it's more like, yeah, you're right, but you're a dick.
Yeah, right. You're still an asshole, but you're right.
You're right, but you're still a dick.
Yeah.
Give me a hug, you old fuck nugget.
Okay, well, you win, but you're a dick. The classic.
But
That's what it is. You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Alright, so at this point, the Lord Inquisitor like bangs the staff to call to order. It's like, there's a lot of good ideas here. We'll be discussing this more and coming up with an overall strategy tomorrow as it's approaching dinner time. But I do like this line of thought in his at which point he looks over to hold on, let's see. He looks over to Hussar and he says, Magnus, I think it is time for you to be more open with your methods. I think you should spearhead this infiltration. You can deal with the subtle portion of the infiltration, and I will have Albert deal with the more public section. If we can put the pressure to them, we'll be able to make more progress than we have been. And Hussar just speaks up, he's like, Lord Inquisitor, I don't feel that's necessary, but he gets just cut off. The Lord Inquisitor just likes him up to a point, like not willing to let him speak out of turn. So
Nice.
all right,
Okay, that went very well.
It did.
Hooray.
Gold star.
we'll call this we'll call it an evening for tonight. Continue the discussion in the morning.
That deceiver was still the best.
And that he just bangs his the staff on the ground, and everyone just shuffles out.
Diagnose you with heretic.
Sutton walks up to your group, Hellscythe, Escher, and the rest of you. You have some very good acolytes there, Luther. I'm impressed with their audacity.
We are very smart.
And we sliced these up very well.
Perhaps,
I am a smart cookie.
Yes, Sutton, good of you to say. Perhaps, and just Sutton just go back to it's like, perhaps one of them could one day become an Inquisitor of their own.
We all have our own Inquisitor cells.
And
Make
Hellscythe,
a super cell.
we've been working well together. Inquisitor Hussar has asked that perhaps we could work together more closely from now on. Hellscythe, just quiet for a moment. It's like, we'll think about it and we'll get back to you. And
Call is important to us.
Sutton just pats him on the shoulders, like, think about it. And then heads back to his group. Hellscythe's just like,
You've received a call from Heresy. Would you like to pick up?
let's get some dinner. And he just turns and heads out the room. And once again, it's like nice spread, plenty of food, plenty of drinks. Hellscythe, once again, not drinking anything. Selena Escher just like nursing a wine. And it's just everyone just around Sutton, around why am I just Hussar, and they're just discussing, as well as people actually around Albert, and suggest like giving him like attaboys, like that was a good like proposal you had there. So they're like, you've really like upped Albert's prestige. So, but did you want to do anything else during the dinner?
Maybe just get the temperature of the room.
Yeah, make like a scrutiny or an inquiry test. Actually, yeah, make an inquiry test.
Inquiry. Okay, that's bad for me. Ow.
Yeah.
I would have passed that with scrutiny.
Yeah, anybody else who wants to make like inquiry tests, just as you like go around, you like chat up people.
Go ahead and fake that inquiry test.
Yeah, I'll fate that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, actually, yeah, Gar. Chico, you're able to get like the mood of it. You're used to like stoic people and getting a read from them. And whereas last night everyone was kind of like burned out and exhausted from just like listening to all the reports, now it's actually like, yes, we have a good strategy that we're like, it's not concrete, but it's a good strategy. People are more optimistic.
Hooray.
Yeah, we unified everybody in the room except one cell.
But
we unified and we created a very subtle power shift.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
That was cool.
And Hussar is not. Hussar is as stony as he generally always is. But you get the feeling, and other people you've talked to kind of get the feeling that he's maybe not happy with this. They're suspecting like, he's always been very secretive. He does not want to he's not a real huge team player, and he actually does not. He's not at all happy the fact that the Lord Inquisitor rebuffed him basically, and just like put him in his place. And
favorite child, go to your corner.
Yeah, he's like. He's the golden child. He's used to really getting his way from the Lord Inquisitor. So the fact that you and Hellscythe and the other Inquisitors were able to kind of
man that.
Yeah, he's
stewing.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, so
tell him why you mad, son.
I'll tell you why I'm mad. Son. I got told to shut up.
But for the most part, you just see him talking to other people, discussing his discussing his strategies. People are talking to him about various things. You see the rest of his retinue. You do see Champernon and Aldathorn, as well as the other members of the retinue. You don't see Rule around there, but
if we could recognize her.
If you could recognize her, he does have a lot of command staff and support staff around him that are basically the same thing, that they're actually literally staff who give him reports, notes, reminders, and so you're not sure if Rule is just infiltrated into one of them. And at this point, if she was, it'd be very difficult for you to determine.
Yeah.
But Hellscythe...
I mean, the fact that we know she's there by itself helps to mitigate some of the threat she poses.
Hellscythe just comes up and just... Good job, everyone. I think things went very well. I think we'll have a lot of good ideas. We'll have to approach this investigation of the Ebony Syndicate carefully. As you know, the members of the Syndicate are very good at keeping their secrets, good at trafficking in heretical methods. But I think we've made good progress against them today, even if it's just a plan. Even if it's just a small shift away from their comfortable position. And they should be aware that the Inquisition, and specifically me, have special methods that can be relied upon to take them down a peg, so to speak, to reveal them. So we'll keep discussing this in the morning, but if you needed anything from me tonight, please let me know, but I will be on my ship, and I recommend you stay on the ship as well.
Yes, sir.
And he just walks away. And did anybody want to do anything else? Because if not, I think we'll call it a session.
That was a good session.
Yes.
Send our buddies over at the Regicide Club some wine or something.
Yeah, let's get them a little bit of an attaboy, because they've done us quite a few solids in all this.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out the secret to, if you treat the help staff nicely, they'll fucking treat you like gold.
Wow, it's just like your site support.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll do that for tonight. So you were able to very easily get an incredibly good bottle of wine. While they have access to drinks they can get. This is like the kind of thing where if any of it went missing, they would be suspected it, and it would like be realized right away. So you get this bottle of wine, you send it to them, and it's just like from, I don't know how you want to sign it. If you want to like tell them directly that it was you, or
special friends.
yeah.
Congrats on the Regicide win. And then in parentheses, P.S. You bastards.
Yeah, you send this wine to them, and then for the rest of the evening, like after sending them the wine, you just like have them coming up, like giving you like more attention to you, is like more drinks they're bringing your way, like some food. When the food comes out, it comes to you right away.
Nice.
Like when you like pass them and they're just like standing, seeing if you need anything, they're like very giving you like the very like subtle nod, like a good smile.
Nice.
And but for that, I think we will call this session. So everything handled that pretty well. Yeah, I know it's gonna be. It was a lot of talky talk, is a lot of investigation, but you managed to like very quickly cotton on to like the whole
the fake Escher.
The fake Escher. Very good use of paranoia there.
I mean,
when she frowned, it's like no snarkiness.
Selena doesn't frown.
It was also the at the risk of oversharing, I've got PTSD, and every now and then the disaster thinking pays off. Everything possible could be going wrong. Let's assume that for every interaction ever. Hey, it worked.
I was thinking doppelganger or something, and but I couldn't like think of the.
It's like being a germaphobe during a coronavirus outbreak, and you're like, hooray, I was right. Fuck, I was right. Shit.
All right. So we played for about 2 hours, give or take. So 200 XP, and everybody gets an additional 50 for like the whole paranoia working out for you.
Nice. That puts me at 450 to spend and 6850 total.
I think so.
I just tend to say it out loud so everybody can square up every single session. Makes it easier.
What's your total?
I've got 6850 right now.
Okay.
Likewise.
Cool. It's very easy on voice, like online games, to have like a couple people get out of step because they missed one thing or the other, and then suddenly nobody knows what the exact total is.
I'm waiting for Mike to make his like triumphant return and like blow everybody up in one of these meetings.
He just perils to the warps in the middle of the Inquisitorial Conclave, despite the side suppression field.
Hey guys! Oh shit!
The second eye of terror opens up.
Run! Alright, the only way Ariana could even start to do like perils would be to roll like 5 doubles in a row. It's like blump, 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 blump. Fuck! Grand possession.
Well.
Sutton, your team takes care of this. We're out.
I guess of all the places for a greater demon of Khorne to show up, right here is probably the best one.
Yeah, if it's gonna be anywhere, it might as well be where like 8 Inquisitorial ships can open up on it at once and sanctify the area.
Okay, some dude decided he's gonna like rev his Harley right now, so we'll end the stream, or not the stream, we'll end the recording there, and we'll see everyone next week.
That was a good game.
Good game.
Hey guys.
I'm gonna drop off.